Okay, so here's a demo of how to analyze the Franker's experiment data. This is the second group's data. So I scroll down until I see this, the adjust electrometer scale. So I know that scale has changed beyond this line. So I'll just analyze in three separate sections. This is the first section, and then there's the next section until another message pops up, and then the third section. They each use a different scale. The top section is 10 to the minus 11, and this is 10 to the minus 10, and then below the next message is 10 to the minus 9. So how do you analyze this anyway? If you scroll all the way up, this is, okay, 600, no, 600. So you scroll all the way up, you see the value stays around 2.6. That's because this is when the electrometer outputs 0 amps, represents a 0 amp output. So the 2.6 is your baseline. You subtract anything against 2.6 to see the difference. So as we go down, we start to see some changes around here, right? I'll go to about, okay, 600. Okay, this is where we were at, right? So this is how to convert this into current. So first you take 2.6. This value is listed on your column. So that minus your voltage. So this is the change. And remember, we have a minus plus 10 volts to 0 to 5 volt converter that compresses the 20 volt range into a 5 volt range. So this value needs to be multiplied by 4. So we scale it back. Okay, so this would be what was displayed on the electrometer, 744, close enough to that value. And then you multiply this number by the scale that you were using, 10 to the minus 11. So this gives you a current. So let's go ahead and autofill a few cells. So you can see the current keeps increasing, increasing, increasing. And if you use the same exact formula across that adjust scale line, then you see, well, 8, almost 9, 10 to the minus 12 goes to 7, 10 to the minus 13. So there's big change. That's because beyond that message line, I changed scale from minus 10 to minus 11 to minus 10. So now these two numbers are supposed to be exactly the same, right? Because I just changed scales and the values haven't changed. I waited until the values were stable. But they're not exactly the same. They're slightly different. I attribute the difference to two sources. One of the sources is the factor of 4 compression from plus minus 10 to 0 to 5. That may not be exact. And then number 2 is what if the scales are not exactly 1 to 10 ratio? So does that affect our data analysis? The answer is no, it doesn't. This only gives you a slight kink between your data points before the message and after the message. That kink is very tiny, and we're looking for vertical dips. Right? These are horizontal locations of the dips, not even the vertical axis, so that doesn't really matter. And now you just keep going until you reach the next message. Beyond the next message, change the minus 10 to minus 9, and then you'll be good to plot it out.